Welcome to episode 28 of the Slabbed podcast, where the grades matter. There are no rules. How you doing, Professor Oak?
Fantastic, thank you. How are you, Josh?
I feel like shit. No, I'm still still pretty good, man. It's been a long weekend at golfing all 4 days and just getting back in the swing of things. Working today, first day back, so it's been busy. I'm busy. How about you? Finally settled in, right?
Getting there. The new place settled in. I just discovered there's water under the floorboards, so got the guys around earlier. They're gonna come back and rip the flooring up. So I've got to strip the office out again. We're gonna have to reset up the office somewhere temporarily or something. I don't know what's going on there, but and then I've been up since 3 a.m. because my kids decided they didn't want to sleep last night. So yeah, it's been an eventful day for me. Excited for this though. I've been looking forward to this for a whole week, so I'm excited to get into it. I know we have a fun one planned. If you want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So this week we're going to be going through our spicy topics, a bunch of them from the last 3 weeks. Appreciate all the spicy topics you guys have been dumping in. There's a bunch of them. Hope to get it to as many as we can.
Yeah.
But as always, continue to drop likes, drop spicy comments down below after the video, during the video, so that we can talk about them in future videos. Or if you win, we could talk about it next week. The most liked one will get talked about. This week was a weird one. We had Z&G Emporium had made a comment that just said, Greeny looks like someone that would go 3 for 3 in softball. And he was the most upvoted comment in the entire section of the comment section. So, yeah, I don't know how to. It's not that spicy, I don't think, but maybe it is in your eyes.
Can I ask a question? Because I got no idea what that means. I don't know if that's good or if it's bad or if it's like he's making fun of you. I literally have no idea. So you're going to need to educate me before I say if it's spicy and what my thoughts are.
What do you think it means?
I don't think I've ever seen softball before. It's like it's baseball,
you watch
right?
baseball?
It's just baseball, but baseball.
So what is that? What do you think it means?
Like you would score 3 and the other side would score 3, but I feel like the points would be higher than that in a baseball game, right?
Basically, I had made the comment in our last podcast that I went 3 for 3 in softball, meaning I went to bat 3 times and I hit the ball and got on base all 3 times. That's what that means.
So he's saying that you look like you know what you're doing, like you would. It was a good thing.
Yeah, I look like an overweight man with a beard that plays softball and has children. That's basically a softball player in a nutshell.
But you're good at it.
Yeah. No, I am definitely.
If you did that and was terrible at it, I feel like that would be.
Yes, it would not be enjoyable at all. I would not be having a good time.
So if you went 3 for 1, you tried to go for 3 swings, but would only hit the ball 1 time.
Yeah, that would be 1 for 3, but yeah.
1 for 3. Okay. That's not what I was thinking it was at all, but that's good. I'm glad. I don't know. I was trying to figure it out. I've only been here 11 years. Give me a break.
You gotta go to a baseball game, man.
I've been to loads. One of my friends used to play for the Astros at Cleveland now, but yeah, I'd never understand what's happening. It's just fun. It's just entertaining for me. Hot dog and a beer.
So yeah. Not that spicy, I don't think, but I guess down below, let me know if I look like one of those guys. I feel like I probably do.
I think they were support votes.
I've been profiled. What?
I feel like they were support votes. People were supporting you doing well at it.
Yeah.
And you're enjoying
we'll go with that one.
One of your other many hobbies that you're enjoying. So good. What about next week? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I'll go first. So CGC 10s. Again, this is my spice topic for next week, even though I might end up talking about it this week. See how I'm feeling. Feeling kind of spicy tonight. CGC 10 gem mints are highly undervalued compared to PSA 10s.
got a few different slabs in this week. I think I'm gonna have to make mine about that. My spicy topic this week is going to be there is zero similarities between the numbers between grading companies. Like none of them are on the same page at all. That could be a whole conversation for sure. But yeah, that's my spicy topic this week. So I know we as you mentioned, we are going to jump into previous spicy topics. So don't forget, obviously we're getting into these now, but don't forget, if you leave one and we think it's good, if we get some votes, you could end up on one of these episodes where we pull these. We love talking about your guys' thoughts. You guys are in the hobby, you're right here with us. Very enjoyable to talk about what you guys are thinking about and what you guys want to talk about and your approaches and stuff. So appreciate it. Just like Josh was saying, I appreciate it. Don't forget to leave it this week. Leave your own, get it in there, and don't forget to vote. Like, do some thumbs up, do some thumbs down, whatever. Like, get in there and get involved. It's fun. We all enjoy it. Oh, so yeah. First one this week. You want to go? You want to go first? You want to read it out?
Yes, I will. So Jodo Jake, shout out to you. Again, shout out to Jodo Jake for redesigning the banner. Looks pretty awesome. Look nice and sleek.
Cheers.
Jodo Jake said it is impossible for market talk PokeTubers to make a video about the market without trolling or being condescending at least once in the mother effing video.
It's tough.
I agree. Yeah.
Honestly, like it's tough to. I'm trying to picture myself if I was doing that. It's probably hard not to throw something in there, like some kind of opinion, because they're opinion based mostly, right? So it's throwing some
the
kind
trolling. I feel like trolling is way more of a thing than the condescendingness.
Yeah.
That's where I would be, right in that niche. But yeah, it adds humor. Like it's the trolling and just like not hidden agenda, but just like hidden messages. Like it just adds humor to the people that, I don't know. If you know what the person's talking about, he's being like sarcastic or whatever. Like it's pretty funny. Dry humor.
You know who I thought of first? I know Jake said PokeTubers, but I can't help but think of Alpha. I can't help but think of Rudy. Like he is, I wouldn't say condescending in any way. I don't think he's attacking other YouTubers or anything, but he says a lot of stuff that's like trying to be funny about real stuff, like real customers and like real market things happening that he thinks crazy or good or bad or whatever. That I was drawn to him, in my thought when reading through that the first time.
Yeah,
but it's funny. It's entertaining with it. I don't think he's got bad blood. I think he has ulterior motives with some of the stuff he says. Like he wants to. I don't want to say the M word, but he wants to like make sure things are the way that he wants it to be. Inserts thoughts into people's heads and. Hey, don't forget this. Hey, think about that. Consider this, that kind of stuff. There is a little bit of market talk there that's influenced, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, who's stopping him? Like, people want to hear that. Like, if anyone you want to hear what's good or bad, it's from someone that's been living and breathing it for years and years and years. Like, he's a guy that's very involved. So I think there's also a lot of benefits that come from it. He's turned out right on a lot of stuff. Like some of the older videos that I watched, when I first started watching him, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, I remember going back and watching some of his older stuff and listening to like stuff that he talked about. And then in like more recent videos, he would like talk about what he said. And I was like, oh, I remember him talking about that actually. Like they are worth more now and that kind of stuff. And I don't even fully understand Magic, but some of like there's some repetition in some of the sets and some of the things he says. Like he calls to certain things often. So like I recognize what he was talking about, even if I didn't know fully that set myself, I had my hands on it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting thinking about that, but he would be in between making jabs and thoughts, and it's funny. So I think he's number one for that. I think when it comes to the trolling side of stuff.
100%. Yeah, no, I agree completely. It's just the way us nerds deal with topics in comedy and just wrap it all into one happy video. But
it's fun.
Ain't gonna be no way getting around it. It's going nowhere fast. Everything's gonna constantly have trolling and condescendingness in the video. So buckle up, Buttercup.
I love it.
What about you? Got one here?
Yeah, I'll go. Brandon Baker, Poggy BB, absolute diamond guy, another superstar in the hobby. He said the Pokemon Company is purposely hiding the hats of the terrestrial Pokemon cards. I don't know what he means. I think I don't know. I don't know if he means like. I feel like we haven't had a lot of really special terrestrial cards, so I don't know if maybe he means that. I know this big Charizard one got revealed. No spoilers this week from me. I'm not going to share a picture, but I don't think we've had any like really crazy special cards. Was really hoping for some more concentration on Pikachu, especially with that being one of the first glimpses that we got with the balloons above its head of the terrestrial Pokemon. I was hoping for some cards. To have a bit more excitement about that. I don't know, but I think there's still more to come. We're still very early into the generation, so that might be part of it. That's my understanding of what he meant. What do you think? What's your thoughts on it?
I have no effing clue what Brandon was smoking before he made this comment. Arcanine, gotta love you, Brandon, but what the man? Arcanine, you could clearly see his hat in the video or in the picture. Gyarados could see his hat. The new Charizard from Obsidian Flames, I know they released the video. Shug Nasty had actually made comments on here. I'll just talk about it now. But that Charizard full art, you can see his hat. I guess I'm confused about purposely hiding, not fully understand it. If you want to elaborate more in the comments, I'd greatly appreciate it. But taking the comment for what it is, I have effing no idea what is being transpired here. But I do think they are kind of weird. Their hats, it's kind of strange to me. I would have preferred like sweater vests or something like that for a Pokemon would have been cool. But yeah, the Charizard, just to talk about that a little bit, not the biggest fan, but I'm not a Charizard junkie by any means. It'll do well, but I think that new set could do well with the other. I think there's a Dragonite and a Tyranitar. It's like it's got other things to carry it that I think will have the fancy hats on them. So, what do you think about that?
An Eevee too, right? Someone mentioned something about Eevee or an evolution in there with some fancy artworks.
Yeah,
I really don't want to be the spoiler guy, but I know there's conversations going on about it, and that it could be a pretty special set. It looks like for some of the main, collectors out there that are grabbing that stuff. So very exciting. Honestly, I'd like to get excited about the set. I don't want to see too many pictures. I don't want to get thrown off. I'm trying to avoid as much as possible. But I saw that Charizard and it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty nice. I might be sold on Charizard for that set. If I can pull that one, I think that'd be a cool one for the collection.
Yeah, I know about all that. Don't know about that.
I don't know if you know, is it a hat? Is it actually a hat, or is it a part of them, like on their head? I don't know if it's like something that's because a hat would be removable.
I didn't play the game though.
I don't know if it's removable, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, is it actually attached? If it's attached, then it's not a hat. I'm not trying to be pedantic, but maybe I am. Like, I want to know the facts. Crowns. Okay.
Terrestrialize a Terra Jewel appears above the Pokemon's head like a crown.
Like a crown.
That's on Pokemon.com.
I think it's connected to them. I don't think it's removable.
It says above the Pokemon's head. It doesn't say
Oh,
attached.
okay.
I don't know.
Someone educate me. Again, we're gonna have to educate Oak
Or
each week.
Or nobody gives an F about the
Well,
freaking hatted Pokemon.
I'm not chasing them. If that's what you're asking.
Sounds like you're getting thirsty for some hat Pokemon.
That Charizard was cute. I did like that one. Honestly, that was a fun one. I'm thirsty for a Pikachu. A fancy Pikachu. We'll see.
That has not come yet. That'll be interesting. Yep. You're gonna get your crystal Pikachu. That'll be nice.
It'll be an electric set. Hopefully, maybe we'll get Pikachu and Zapdos in the same.
We just got a Fire Zapdos in the 151 set from Japan that came out, so I'm chilling.
Yeah.
I don't need another Zapdos for a while.
It is nice. It is nice. And another one that would be a fantastic VGS Black Label candidate. I think it would look brilliant in a Black Label slab, but we'll see.
Modern Black Labels are trash, bro. Absolute effing trash. Chill out. Fiasco 91 going in on CGC here. If CGC had called their new label Perfect or Premium, then it would go higher than the PSA 10. Using the word pristine is just going to be a reminder that they used to have a higher grade. I don't know if it's just an Australian market thing, but I can't give away CGC Pristine 10s. Yikes, bro. Yikes. The thought of using the word premium as a grade, just no. 100% no. That don't sound right at all. This is a premium. I don't know. It just doesn't sound. It sounds really weird. Going from like gem mint to premium. It seems really strange. Perfect, okay, but I don't know. The pristine 10 is going, in my opinion, the new label pristine 10s. If that doesn't outsell PSA 10s for like modern cards, Jesus Christ, that's insane. I'd be shocked. Like I could see it for vintage stuff because most of the vintage cards, people are buying those because of they're in PSA slabs for their PSA collection, for their PSA sets. It all goes together. A lot of that stuff will struggle, but ultra modern, I think the CGC Pristine 10s is not going to be affected. I don't think people care enough. I have a handful of perfect cards. I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. But I don't think the changing the name, removing the perfect, calling it just pristine, it's just going to be a thing of the past, just like everything else inside of grading. All the old PSA labels without the lighthouse, and it's different, but I don't know, like the old certs, the new certs. The reason people care so much about the effing certs on PSA, I feel like, it's because they're effing massive. On CGC, I've heard like the difference in cert numbers. Like people will talk about it, but it's like really, really rare compared to people talking about PSA cert numbers. It's insane. Oh, yeah. It's just like bam, right there, up in front, in your face, because it is bigger than the freaking grade on the label, the cert number. So you can't not see the son of a bitch. But I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think there's going to be a little bit of confusion from the change for a little while. I don't know if it's like the first sentence, the Fiasco left. It said CGC are called the new label Perfect or Premium. It's not the label that they're calling; it's the grade, right? It's the name of the grade. Yeah. So why Gem Mint is moving from 9.5 to 10, like it's Gem Mint, like that's the grade of it. It's not the number or the label there. So it's like the quality of the card, I guess. And that's not easy. Like it just requires a little bit of like critical thinking, I guess, to like break down what's going on there. But if they would have moved it to 9.5 gem min to 10 gem min, and then 10 pristines to 10 perfects, for me, that would say that the 10 pristines were graded incorrectly. Whereas what they're doing with the 10 perfect coming down to, I mean, still perfect, but if you regrade it, it comes down to pristine. With that, it's like best case scenario, I guess, like, or worst case scenario, everyone look at it, like it can't get worse for the perfect. Whereas if it goes the other way, it can get worse in terms of like it not being as consistent with the grade, no matter the name or number, that kind of stuff, or what the actual grade of the card is. I think it's not clear. Like the change they did, it's still all like murky, but I can't help but feel both the 10s are going to do well. Like I feel honestly, like even with the confusion, I feel pretty confident about it. I'm still not 100% sure on the new 9.5++ grade. I think that one still is gonna have to work out some kinks there. But it is what it is. Like, and we could talk about it all day, every day. Like all the changes everyone's made. There's been several changes, in the past few years from different companies doing different things and grading stuff, not grading stuff, this, that. We could talk about all these things all day, but we don't have any control over it. Like, I don't think CGC are going to care that we're talking about it in this podcast right now, or whether we agree or disagree. So you just got to do the best you can with what we've got. Either enjoy it or make money from it or spend money or whatever it is you want to do with it. Just kind of is what it is. So not to put a damper on it, but it's not a super clear topic to have like a clear opinion on. I don't think really.
Yeah, I'd be curious because he does. Fiasco says, I don't know if it's just an Australian market thing, but I can't give CGC pristines away. Like, I got a question, like what are the pristines? I wish I knew, but man, because there's even the old gold label 10s, man. I'm a huge fan in depending on the Pokemon, but like you can get garbage 10. Like I could grab a Pokemon. Like I don't want these in CGC pristine 10. Like give me good Pokemon, cool cards.
Yeah, and I mean, just on the actual number alone, I posted in Discord, I think it was last week, some Pikachus that I bought a couple of months ago that were 9.5s, and then what they're selling for the exact same card and exact same grade and everything, what they're selling for now in 9.5s, they've gone up. They're going up to a 10, and Pristine is a 10. Like the Gem Mint thing is whatever. The Pristine is a higher level. So I would think, if anything, they're more sought after than the 9.5s. So yeah, that's interesting to me. I don't have any data to really give a true opinion, but I know the grade below that, I mean, they're selling fantastically. They're selling for double what they were 2 months ago. So there's that. That's all I have to go off. Jump into the next one. UAP, your average player, my fellow European Duderino. He said people collecting PSA 10s are just as delusional as black label collectors. Yep, yes, we are. I agree.
Why?
I just think it's the same thing. You just want the best, right? PSA 10 is the best PSA slab, and black label is the best of the PGS slab. It's just, you just want the best. If you're gonna, I mean, for me anyway, like if I'm gonna try and do a test, or if I'm gonna try and do anything, I always try to do it the best I can. I always give my all. I always want the best grade. I want the best achievement. I want the best whatever it is. I don't half-ass stuff, and I think when it comes to my collection, I love PSA 10s, but I mean, honestly, I've been buying more PSA 9s these past month or two. I've got a mail day I'm hopefully going to shoot this week. I don't think there's any PSA 10s in there. So even though I collect them, like I'm not buying them right now, but I would much prefer a PSA 10. Like who wouldn't? Right? If you're collecting PSA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I agree in the sense that people that are conditioned collectors like myself, for depending, I'll collect vintage black labels or PSA 10s of cards I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess we're delusional. I don't know. I guess I don't get the reason why. I guess I'm curious the thought for people being delusional, why that is. Maybe he's saying that because they think there's value in these conditional rarities, but there is. So I guess I'm confused. Um, I think there is value in conditional rarity that the PSA 10 drives, obviously, because you see it every day, every friggin' day. So I guess I'm curious as to why. Maybe you understand it better why he thinks it's delusional. But
I think honestly, in my head, I can cross out his comment. I could cross out PSA 10 and Black Label and just read people collecting or just as delusional as collectors.
exactly.
I just think in general, like the collecting part, I just want to have the best of that delusional aspect of collecting and hoarding and wanting that for myself and the excitement I have from owning that and buying it or selling it even. You know, there's even a hype from like selling it or making a profit or getting rid of something, even if it's not a profit. Like there's multiple layers of enjoyment in the hobby for me. It's not just collecting, but I think there is a bit of delusion there in some sense. So yeah, I agree.
So you're not delusional as long as you're just selling these things. You're not buying them. F that. No. I think the dude's smoking dust.
he I'd like to see how many PSA 10s he has. I'd like for
Apparently zero. If I read this comment, the dude's got zero. He's just got binders and he's just selling graded cards.
I feel like
He's
I sent him a PSA 10.
He's a catch 'em all collectibles.
I think he's got some PSA 10s. I feel like I sent him one last year. I think he's got Greninja or some. Like he showed a couple recently, and I think he does have
You
some.
gave it to him?
I don't know if that was the one I gave. I don't remember where I sent him.
He sold it. He sold the gift. He's like, I need to make $25. I'm selling this effing gift Professor Oak gave me.
I've given away so much stuff. I sent 3 packages this weekend to people. Just give away.
Chill out.
Yeah, it's funny. I was looking at my pirate ship. I was doing my June expenses and my pirate ship breakdown, and I was like, "Why are there more shipments than sales?" There's like a lot more. I was like, "Why is there so many shipments going out? Like what? Like I was so confused. I was like looking at my eBay, like what have I sold? What am I shipping? Like what's going on with my expenses?" And I'm like, "God, did I really give away that many things?" It's ridiculous. It's so dumb. Whatever. I enjoy it. Let's move on. A dog lava lizard.
Yep.
Mr.
Lava Lizard.
Contrast it. I want you to say this one because that is so funny. The contrast from the last to this one.
Dark Lava Lizard said, "If it's not PSA for $10, I don't want it." So if CGC just dropped the price $10, if you didn't know that, Dark Lava Lizard from this comment wants absolutely zero F's to do with it. Doesn't give an F. Only wants PSA at $10. Otherwise, he don't give a crap. You're missing out on plays, brother.
Yeah.
If you're in it for collecting, for selling, don't exclude things. I guess I'd wonder why. Maybe unless you're just a collector of PSA cards, okay. But if you're buying and selling, doing yourself a disservice here for sure. If you're just hammering down the PSA drum.
Yeah, I mean we haven't had. What was it like? Spring 2021 when they closed down $10 grading, when they stopped accepting submissions. It's been 2 years, and I'm more in the hobby than ever without PSA charging $10 a card. Like, I want $10, but I don't not want it if it's not $10 because there's so many things I'm doing anyway, and everyone knows that they're not at $10. You know, prices are accordingly. The trouble gets to when you get a low grade, you know, and it's not a fantastic card. You know, you flashed a couple of pretty, you know, common cards earlier, but if you're sending stuff in, you need to know it's profit. You know, you need to know you're breaking even or whatever. If you're doing it, if you're selling, and if it's for you, what does it matter what it costs? Like 10, 15 bucks. Like, you're really sending that many in? You're sending 100 cards in for your collection? Probably not. You're probably picking stuff up. It's a lot easier to buy something for 20, 30 bucks off eBay to add to your collection for your registry than source it and send it in for 10, 15 or whatever, and shipping and insurance, shipping back. And yeah, there's a lot to it. So don't think about it too much. Talk Lava Lizard. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy the ride.
Exactly.
Just enjoy it.
All you can do. Here for the ride.
We get hung up on these few dollars, and I've been guilty of it. Like, we've all talked about it. You know, I want it lower. I want the grading lower, but I know the effect of that will be some cards will drop because there'll be more of them on the market, easier to access. People know that the grading is cheaper, so why would they pay this when they're going to cost you $10 and it's a 50-cent card? Like, there's just a whole mentality behind it, but it's heading that way. It's heading that way. I don't know how fast, but I think it's heading that way anyway.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, PhD. You want to read it?
Yeah, let's go. My fellow my tea sipper. PSA has ruined pack grading now that they no longer give automatic 10s for everything. They were pretty generous on the 10s for a little minute. I think we touched on it a little bit together, Josh, but I've seen a few returns that had some really nice 10 rates for packs. Like, almost all 10s, I want to say, on most of the returns I've seen. Like, I've had very few where it's been like, oh, that wasn't fun to watch. Like, I feel kind of bad for them, like bummed out. But the past couple of months, felt a little bummed out on some of the pack returns that I've had. I don't love that feeling for, you know, I feel for people when they do it because I do it. You do it. Like, we know what that feels like when you get rough returns back.
Never had a rough return in my life.
Stop. And that's not cheap. The packs aren't cheap, right? To grade, it's like 30, 40 bucks, whatever. It's like, you know, it's not a $10 thing. We're turning around. 30 bucks. That's a lot of money. And even just sending 10 packs, not even a booster box full, but like just 10 packs is the best ones you pick out. You drop in $350 after shipping, insurance, taxes, that kind of stuff. Dropping $350 to get a bunch of 8s. Like, I don't know. I'm concerned about it, and I know I'm going to call him out. PK talked about it in his video. I'm going to call out Nat, sorry. Nat talked about it. Yeah, we'll edit that out. Nat said that standards haven't changed for pack grading, but the I don't want to quote his exact words, but he said something to the effect of like the professionalism and like sticking to the standards had changed. So he was like, it hasn't changed, but it's changed. And I think that's very telling. Like, the way that he gave a pretty long answer and stuck on that subject for a minute, unlike most of the other topics they talked about, he did seem to like keep talking about it. And there was a little bit of like, it didn't feel very clear, like what his actual answer was on that. And I've seen firsthand, so I don't need him to answer. I can infer it myself. I've seen enough pack returns lately where things have been different. I don't know if they're doing it themselves now instead of BBCE. Like, he wasn't clear on what he was talking about with BBCE there on some of that stuff. Like he said, they'll use them for some of the more rare stuff. TCG, he said, like there's a whole team dedicated to that. Like I didn't feel very clear. I didn't feel like that question was answered, honestly, at all, really, not even slightly. But I feel like that answered it because it didn't answer it. If that makes sense. Like I feel like I know what the answer is there. What did you think of that part? Like, what do you think about PSA 10s? I know we're moving into pack grading here, but like PSA $10 grading, sorry, not PSA 10.
Yeah. I've never graded a pack with PSA in my life. I got a few that I'd like to send, but I haven't done it. Just literally the main reason is because I've seen everyone getting wrecked lately. And I don't want any part of that. So, my opinion, because of that, it's like CGC when they first changed their grading harshness. They went from, they had the same grading, perfect 10, pristine 10, all this crap, but it got easier. They all of a sudden had more 10s and more 9.5s. Same concept here. They have a lot of people that got hired in. Now they're like, oh yeah, we do have this pack standard. You guys probably should do this and grade to this standard and don't go outside of this. Like, and that's probably what they're doing. Like you said, probably a little bit more now than they were. I believe Nat did make the comment. Shout out to PK for having Nat turn on the channel, though. Really cool to hear a Pokemon person talking to Nat about the hobby. It was really cool. So really shout out to them. Go check it out. It's on Poke Knowledge channel. About an hour-long interview, which was longer than I had expected, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so it sounded like they are grading, like you said, they're grading in-house now, in California or New Jersey, whichever one. And then, but BBCE is still grading cards also, packs. I was there in person just literally a month ago, asked them in person. They're like, yeah, we're still grading packs. So, that's still happening. It's really weird. I think it's just a learning curve. Like they have new people, tons of new people. I thought it was also interesting that TCG's only being graded in New Jersey. It sounds like now it doesn't even sound like it's being touched in California, and they only ship to California currently because their system's not fully updated yet. It's wild.
I feel like that ties into it, right? Like I feel like for me, I'm inferring that BBC isn't grading the regular packs. They're only grading special stuff that's like really expensive or rare or something, and it's the New Jersey team that's brand new. And there's maybe a few that have moved over from California and are showing them the ropes, but like they can't watch every grade that goes through, and they clearly don't QA 100% of everything. They're just spot checking things. So I feel like there's something to that. Like New Jersey facility, some of the new people are maybe grading cards. We may see a discrepancy with cards. You know, this was the harshest return I've ever had, and that came from New Jersey.
Yeah, I feel like I'm curious. I would be curious if anybody has gotten a cards or a grading pack submission return. Did that come back to you from New Jersey? Because my thought is that they are just doing all TCG things in New Jersey, packs, the foil packs, and the cards. If so, then that's newish. That's new as of recently that they're doing packs there as well. So instead of BBCE, so there is probably the change, like that drastic move, different people, like you said, grading and different eyes on it. So it'd be interesting I'm sure somebody comment down below would be interested to hear. Like James would be a great one. Like he did his initial submission, all those packs came back. I wonder if they shipped back from California. If they came back from California, those were probably all graded at BBCE. But if this next one came from New Jersey, it was graded by PSA internally in New Jersey. So
PKs are there now. So wherever they ship back from, I feel like would have an answer of most current, because he's I would imagine within the next couple of weeks or so, he's probably going to get a shipment back and be able to check his FedEx. I think it's interesting. You know, I don't know. It's a good question, like what's going on with the New Jersey thing. But
yeah,
they're also the only people really doing solid pack slabs at the moment. So we'll see.
Yeah. See what happens. Great comment, Pokey PhD. Did I read that one? I can't even remember.
I did. It was my fellow Brett.
Oh, that's right. Your fellow tea drinker.
Fellow tea drinker. Yeah. And again, like you said, shout out PK. That was pretty awesome getting that on. I think we enjoyed that. There's a lot of people watching it live. I know. I saw the number was pretty high. So congrats on that. I think that was a cool one. I'm excited to see what you guys get up to if you did meet him in person, like you said. If you guys hang out, what kind of fun you'd be up to. I think that'd be interesting to hear about. So hopefully we'll get a rundown video after that.
You have to send me your PSA cookie to get it signed. No. Did you eat that thing yet, or what'd you do with it? Read it to the.
I gave it away. I ran it as a giveaway, of course. I give it as
a
giveaway in the Discord. Yeah.
Nice. All right, Danimals Den 2848. He had said every PSA sub has to have some number of 8s, 9s, and 10s. You need to give them your 8s, otherwise they'll just give them to you.
No, I've had subs that have been 100% 10s. I don't agree with it at all. There's so much speculation. So many people comment like the order, like put bad ones first, and then when they see your good one, it looks good. Like they don't give a shit. Like they just want to know, is it the grade, and they're looking at it. I honestly trust that they're looking at it objectively, as objective as possible. I think there's some parts of tenure and experience. I don't think it's anything to do with comparison because they see hundreds of cards a day. Like the grade is the comparison. Like you comparing the grade and the quality, like they should be doing that. I don't think it's your submission. I think they're comparing between grades and qualities, centering, white spots, that kind of stuff. So honestly, I agree with 95% probably of the grades I've had. I've had a PSA. Like I haven't graded a lot with other people, but PSA I've pretty fair grades. Honestly, I feel pretty good about them. So that's one that I actually really disagree with that comment. What about you? I know you've submitted probably volume wise more than like a lot more than me. Bigger submissions. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it just depends on which 12-year-old's grading your cards. It's pretty rough out here. Literally, I've never had 100% gem rate. That's awesome for you to get a 100% gem rate on a 2-card submission. I'm proud of you. But
do you think they get a juice box break?
No, they don't. They don't.
No,
they spend half of their time on that one app. Well, man, I'm forgetting what it's called, but yeah, it's dark. So, yeah, I don't agree with it, but it's interesting. PSA 8s, 9s, and 10s. Like every submission I've gotten back, I don't think I've gotten much lower than an 8 in most of my submissions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, in my 500 card submission I did, but that was definitely like a 10-year-old that I think it was like Helen Keller. Definitely couldn't see their cards or anything when they're grading them, but I think I got more problems with that than them just choosing random 8s, 9s, and 10s. I think it's just blind children some of the times is what it is.
I think I've only had, for the most part, like really low grades, like really bad grades. It's been on stuff that I was just grading to slab it for me. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about the actual grade as such. Like it was just to slab it for personal collection, that kind of stuff. I've had a few pretty rough grades on some of that. I got some 4s and 5s and 6s. Some of my childhood cards and some of the older stuff that I've shown before. I got an 8 on my last submission I got back.
Poor guy.
That card's really clean too. I'm still very confused about it, but I sold it. It sold the first week I listed it. Like even an 8, like people don't care about grades. The price matters, obviously. Like you can't price it as a 10, but any grade, people will buy stuff. People want slabs. Honestly, like they're still paid more than what it is raw for whatever reason. It's just, it's odd.
Crazy.
Okay, so my comment, it's my one from last week, right?
I believe so.
I
Yep.
think it's my one last week. I feel like
Lost to James.
Yeah, lost to ZNG for valid reason. I mean, he had a good topic there, but I said PSA ain't. I was trying to be American. I said PSA ain't dropping their prices this summer, and I'm not going to do the cowboy voice. Don't push me into that.
Please do.
I'm going against myself with that comment though. Like I honestly thought we would have a little bit cheaper, some kind of special. I've talked about it. I feel like I've talked about it 2 or 3 times, like a couple of times now. I've mentioned that I think we're going to do that. I think I even said something in like a couple of other people's live streams. I feel like in the comments and stuff, like, yeah, definitely do that. I was really confident that PSA were going to try and get some volume in this summer. But here's the but though. I think I really underestimated how many they would still be kicking out, even at $15 being the lowest for special $15. Like not everything's at $15 still. You know, when I was thinking about that stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Now I'm like, I don't know. Are they going to hold at 15? Like I was really trusting that not. I don't feel like PK really poked at this much in the live stream, but I feel like Nat seemed pretty genuine that he really wanted to get it back down to $10. But he also said that before inflation and the craziness kicked in with the economy last year, and you know some of the actual financial lookout of the future. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to get back there anymore. Now I'm feeling a little unsure, I guess, but I'm still going to be using it. I'm still going to be grading stuff with them. I'm still going to be collecting their cards. I'm still going to be grading and selling and whatever. I'm going to be hitting it all different directions. I'd much rather be doing it with less capital tied into it in the grading aspect of it, the fees. So what do you think? Did you see it coming? Like, do you think they missed the ball? Like they could have took more market share this summer, or like where are you at with lower grading through the summer from PSA?
So just gonna take your comment as it is. PSA ain't dropping prices this summer. Summer ends middle to end September. They didn't do a price drop for the national first time in probably ever besides the year they were shut down. I would say probably every year they've gone to the national, including last year, they had a price decrease for the whole month of July.
An affordable
because
affordable price decrease, right?
Yep. So because they didn't do that now, that gives us August and September.
Mm-hmm.
If they did something the way Nat was talking about it in PK's interview discussion, they're just ever so worrying about doing what they did before, where they had 100,000 cards coming in a day. So they would probably do like a collector special lottery, maybe even to feel it out. How many people have the interest at $10 a card? Will we get absolutely fisted by people sending in these at whatever quantity?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe do that first instead of just jumping. They're not going to jump straight to 10 because they could be right back in the same boat they were in a couple of years ago. So they're going to play it smarter this time, just like they did when they came off the $50 and the $30. It was lottery here, lottery there, getting into the queue to get 20 cards submitted. Like it was a wild time. Looking
God,
back.
that feels like forever ago now.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they'll drop prices in the summer before end of September. If we see anything, it would be like a Christmas special, but I feel like they won't do that because holiday times there's going to be less employees. I don't know. You don't want to have all that stuff coming in when everyone's at home with their families, but it'd be interesting. I'd almost peg them to not drop any prices this year, let alone just the summer.
Yeah, I'm not confident they're going to do it. Honestly, like I don't feel like I know. Like and I did.
Yeah.
I did feel like they're going to do it. They're going to work towards it. That's going to be what they do. I think I'm just trying to picture it. Like you were talking just then about the backlog back then and getting so many cards in they can't even handle. I just feel like the hobby is like not the same market as it was. It's just not the same hobby as it was back then.
Yeah.
Like they're worrying too much. Like people are really going to go crazy and sending millions of cards at $10. They're not doing it 15. Like, is there really that many? Maybe. Like maybe I'm naive, but I don't feel like it's the same market as it was back then.
I feel like Pokemon's pretty close to what it was back then, with all things considered, including like the Japanese current situation. But the sports thing has definitely come down quite a bit. So I feel like it definitely probably wouldn't go right to 100,000 submissions a day at $10 a card, but it would be.
Let's think about what that was, though, right? When that happened, that was people pulling their old binders out from when they were a kid and going, Pokemon's going crazy. I need to get my old Blastoise, that's never been in a sleeve before. I need to get that submitted. Yeah. Like, that isn't happening. Like, it isn't, like, prices are good and there's a lot of interest and, like, people take it more serious, but the volume of people sending ridiculous bullshit in, like, it just isn't the same space anymore. I don't view it that way. I don't get anywhere near as much contact with those kind of people that I did back then, when things started kicking off again. I feel like things are much more serious and well thought out and like modern, and I don't know, it just feels like a different space to what it was back then in the grading side of things. So I get what you're saying, and honestly I agree with you, but I think there is counterpoints to what we're thinking too. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there are still binders out there. Maybe the cheaper gradient people would get excited about for that kind of stuff. I just think they're worrying too much. Just do it. Like, just make it for collectors even. Whatever. Like, they can figure it out. Like, they're a very, very valuable company. They've got money to throw at figuring it out. Much more than I could ever figure out.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see. Time will tell. Enough speculation. Let's get to actual cold hard effing facts.
Heck yeah.
Jodo Jake back again. CGC's black and white label is 1,000,000 times better than PSA's medical wristbands. Yowzer.
That's what you call goating, right? That's when you got goading or goating. What's that phrase? You got goading someone to try and get a response.
Aided.
Is it? Okay.
Baited.
Yeah.
Goaded.
I feel like that's the spiciest one of the night, in my opinion. The medical wristband, I have not been able to shake that from my head since that was said. I just can't. It's there. It looks so clinical now when I look at it. But also, CDC's black label looks kind of like strict and serious. The regular one, not the pristine. The pristine looks flash. Like, that looks pretty flash. Like, I think that's gonna be a cool one. But they look pretty different. I don't know. I don't know if I agree. I don't know how to feel about that. 1,000,000 times better is a lot. That's quite a lot times better. That's 7 digits. So
a lot of effing zeros.
That's a lot better. I don't know.
Maybe only like 3.5 times.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like I like PSA's label. It feels like I know what I'm getting. And even though there's old iterations of the label, the new ones have stayed consistent with design and upgraded like security features and like just cleaning it a little bit. Whereas CGC made an actual flip change, like literally a new label, new numbers, that kind of stuff. Like, things have changed a little bit. So I like which I think why a lot of the old like sports cards guys like they like PSA because it's like you know what you get in. It's like a safer kind of thing. Consistency, like I know people talk about consistency being key. I think there's a lot of positives there, but also like CGC, like they're affordable. Like they'll grade anything. The card is going to look good in the slab because the slab's pretty special. Like they've got a really fantastic slab. There's just so many like positive benefits to each, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good comment. I think you could spur us on to a pretty long conversation about that.
Yeah, I agree. It's not quite a million. It's probably somewhere in the 740,000 times better. But I took a bunch of my cards in my collection, some higher end Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I will probably do more, and basically cross them over to CGC to get the black label, like probably about $15,000, not including. This is not the CGC 9.5 crossover to the new label. These are PSA slabs. I'm taking them out of their liquidity label PSA slabs and putting them into CGC slabs because they look effing better.
How much is a crossover grade?
$15.
Affordable, yeah.
Same cost as grading. And you can do same grade or better. That's an option. So I could take a PSA 10 Gem Mint and cross it to CGC, and it'll get the Gem Mint 10 or the Pristine 10, or it'll come back on my PSA 10 slab. So it's an option. Like I'm looking at, like I got this Mirror Force card here, PSA 10, first edition, second Yu-Gi-Oh set. It's not great. This is probably one of the better ones, where it's not abbreviated destroyed, but the ones I sent were destroyed by abbreviations, like the tournament pack cards. It was kind of not great, but I'm looking forward to getting those changed over.
You showed a couple in your video, and honestly, I didn't even understand what it was, like based on the label. Like for someone reading that label, I was like, you need to know what it is to be able to read it, which is like defeats the purpose of reading it. You don't need to. You already know what it is, right?
Yeah,
like I feel like the label is there to educate you on what it is. So if you need to have that knowledge to be able to read it, then I mean it's zero-sum game again.
So as a collector, like so I'm literally incinerating money by doing that. But I'm a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan collector, so I definitely am not having those cards to sell them by taking them out. Like I said, the liquidity in a PSA slab for Yu-Gi-Oh versus in a CGC slab, it is like 1/100th probably, if not worse, because Yu-Gi-Oh and CGC is not it's not great compared to PSA any day of the week for sure. So, but it just looks way better. So I'd rather have those in my collection personally. So
registry,
I'm a buyer for. What do you mean?
You're going to be playing with the registry, getting them all uploaded in there, and
yeah, they don't have Yu-Gi-Oh yet in the registry or Pop Report, so it can't yet. But
he made it seem like they were going to start building that out, right? They were going to get a bit more serious about that stuff. So I think that'd be cool for the consistency of having the same. If you were going to do that, I could see it. Like that's what I liked about the PSA 10 Pichus that I was collecting. Like the same slab, I could track what I paid, what they're selling at, the pop, like everything's all one place with PSA. Like I love the PSA registry. It's really sweet. It's nice how it works. I threw some CGC slabs into my CGC registry at the weekend for the first time to like really play with it, and I couldn't figure it out. I got them uploaded, but it was saying like they were private and like no one else was allowed to see them, and they didn't connect to anything or something. I got to play around with it again, but it was a very different experience to what it was with PSA. So I thought that was interesting. I hope they do more with it because you're really going to drive collectors to it, just like yourself. They may even take some from PSA for it if they really do put some effort in there. I just don't know how many. I don't know how many people really care about that stuff like I do.
Yep, exactly. No, great question. Great comment, Jodo Jake.
Yeah, that was another solid one. Pool Father, my fellow Florida man. PSA will start sending people submissions out to a third-party remote grader to speed up turnaround times and offer a commission out. That comment is assuming they're not already doing that. I don't know.
New Jersey, Japan.
But they've never said they're not using a third party remote. They've mentioned BBCE. Like, are they in house? Do they have a BBCE employee in the office? Is it third party? Like, are they sending, I don't know, a illustrator? Like, does that stay on premises? Do they hire a third party to come in? Do they send it out to third party? Like, I don't know what it looks like for some of these cards, but I can't imagine they have every single person in house. I mean, we've seen it with, I'm going to call out Chum Lee here, right? Like, we've seen it with porn stars, like they're calling the experts, you know, and you can't have every expert hired at your company for everything there is. So I absolutely see that as an option. I wouldn't cross that out at all. I don't know if it would be, may seem like vague saying like sending people submissions. I think it would be for specific stuff that really requires it. But I'd be very surprised if that wasn't already happening in some fashion, in however the logistics of it would work. What about you? What about you? You think you see that as realistic?
Yeah, I was crunching it in my head. I don't think it is. BBC is definitely, it's currently a third party. They do ship them to Indiana to grade some of the packs. Right. But as far as the cards go, no, it'll always be a PSA branch. It'll be a PSA building, grading the cards. It'll never be anything outside of there. They already got slapped in the nuts enough for doing, having people that were middlemen, certified dealers. That was bad enough decision, so they're tightening that up. Let alone the whole grading thing. Good, there's no shot they're going to have that be a third party. What I was just thinking, pondering while you're talking, is like I could see them going to like Ace because they don't have a European branch, or Get Graded, and to say, hey, we're going to buy Ace Grading, but you're no longer Ace Grading. You're now PSA Card Europe. You're no longer going to be doing these slabs. The owner sold out. Now we have this umbrella already developed of the graders and the people that were doing all this other work, and it just like boom, instantly they bought a company. Now it's PSA, Aces to the side. I could see something like that happening. That'd be interesting because he was talking about finding the right people to do these right things, and you could do that. He could walk in and say, sorry, the guy that was running Ace sold the company to us. Complete rebrand. Sorry, you're now PSA. And we're just not going to do Ace anymore. That could totally happen. If the price is right, I'm sure somebody would sell their stuff and all the employees go with it. But
I mean, is it
interesting? Buying third parties and just rebranding them.
Yeah, I could see it. And I think, honestly, it'd probably work out cheaper. Like, long run in terms of like training and stuff, it'd be very easy to train people. Hey, you already know Pokemon cards. This is our standard for our grades. This is the way we stamp our labels and Sonic World our slabs. They already have the machines. Like, there's a lot of things that would very easily transfer over. It would just be, this is our way of doing things. A 1-2 day crash course or something, as opposed to shadowing and following people for weeks and learning this, that. It seems like the not the easier way out, but it seems like a logical choice if I was going to do something like that. I don't know value. I don't know how many they're grading. Very small number. I know it's a very small number that they're grading and interacting with, but just the employees, location, equipment, accessibility, I guess, to Europe, UK, that would probably be a pretty worthwhile investment. I think you're right on the ball there. I think that would be smart. The UK Pokemon was massive. I was there. Like, literally, I grew up there. Like, I know firsthand, it was huge. There's a lot of Pokemon collectors. A lot of people still have their old binders and stuff over there. Really big market in the UK, and I know a lot of Europe. I mean, we had European languages. Like Pokemon literally printed it in their language because there was so much demand there. They knew that was going to happen, and still continues to be. Like they're still printing it in German. Like, you know, it's still there. So, yeah, I could see it being successful. I think the only thing with it is like, I don't want to be biased by the TCG because that's what I'm in. There's no football there. There's soccer, right? But there's no football. There's no baseball. Basketball is very small. Like I watched London play Sheffield or whatever, you know, in England back in the day, and there was maybe a couple of hundred people. Like it's very small thing over there. Ice hockey is very small. The best man at my wedding used to play for Italy, ice hockey. Like, and even him, like he was saying, like it's not that big over there. Like it's fun, it's exciting, but it's not like it is here. And I don't know. Like they're the sports authenticator, and sports is very different in Europe to is it? Like it's very much like soccer, and then you know some like Olympic type stuff. That like I don't know if people would collect cards of that. I don't know what the market is for that specific PSA. So they'd have to really change up gears marketing wise to like soccer and full pace, because pretty much every European country has a huge soccer following. You know, it's just absolutely crazy. Like that's the number one sport for sure. Whereas here it's very different. So I don't know how that would transfer. Like maybe that's it. Maybe they just go over there and focus on TCG and soccer or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they could try and capture. I don't know anyone over there that's really collecting too much like Japanese or niche stuff. Like that's very much an American thing, like some of these niche things that are going on right now. So that's just my personal experience with it. Do you see it being successful, like sport-wise for them, like it being a smart play? I know TCG is obviously here even like an absolutely huge like section of those numbers that we pulled, you know, these past few months for gem rate. TCG and you know on sports is like it's serious. We've got Formula One too. I know that's growing. Like there is some
F1,
other things. Star Wars. Like, I don't know. There's other things out there that you can play with there, but I can't let go of like sports being such a big part of their reach here and not there.
Yeah, I think they would have a few guys on staff that can grade sports cards if they wouldn't just turn it down. It's not going to become like the Pokemon Specialist Abroad company and not the new PSA acronym. It would be, I think sports would 100% be included, like because you said soccer or football, whatever, American football, or not American football, but soccer. And F1 being huge. So those have really taken off and grown quite a bit. Like they're projecting soccer just to keep exploding. So it'll be interesting. And I believe Messi just came to Miami, right? Like he's in the US now.
Yep.
So the marketing that he hasn't had, and they should to help piggyback the league a little bit more, like they do for some of these football and basketball players, is crazy. Like even baseball and hockey, they don't market their players well. If soccer had good marketing people and they marketed this guy, and that could be crazy. So
there's a lot of his older European cards. People would go back to. I think that's a really good player. You know, Messi. I'm thinking of like Messi and Beckham, and even go back to like old goalkeepers like Fabien Barthez and stuff. You know, from France. Like there's a lot of soccer things that I think if the accessibility for grading opened up over there, I think a lot of them would pop. There'd be a lot of changes. And I think that would affect the American market because the American market has a soccer market at the moment, you know, of European cards. Or, you know, oddly enough, there is some of that. So, yeah, again, that could be a whole conversation. But I think it's fun to talk about just because there's clearly people over there that want it. I don't know how many. I don't know.
Yeah, I truly think them buying another company, rebranding it to PSA is totally in the realm, because that's basically what happened to my company in the automotive world. They bought us, completely changed their name, and then all the doors opened. Now we have this brand name, and we can go in all these different customers. We already have terms and conditions with all these people, and I feel like the employees at that company that gets purchased, now they're owned by PSA card. Like, what type of more job security do you need than that? Like, that sounds way better than working at Ace Grading. Like, I don't know. It's that's something I'd be a little sus about for sure. But no big offense to those guys. I know they're killing it, and I love their slab. I got a couple of them, but it's it would give me a warm fuzzy if my company got purchased by PSA. You read that one, I believe. Token or TPCI
Pokemon Company International.
The Pokemon Company International. Jesus Christ. Professor Birch, shout out to you. Is Pokemon is running out of ideas for new creative Pokemon. Unfortunately,
we just got cheese string. They're not running out of ideas.
Who?
The gold cheese string guy. I forget his name. Cheese Stringosaurus or something. I forget what it is. Floppy.
I'm looking at a stack of Scarlet and Violet cards.
Yeah, there's a lot. There was
room's old or not.
It was a lot. We're over 1,000 now. I think we're at like 1,000 Pokemon now. But honestly, I mean, think how many different species of animal there are in the world.
It's not new, but
Croconaw.
Yeah, Croconaw. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a cool. Come here. I just think there's so many animal species out there. There's got to be some that they haven't looped into a Pokemon version already. I mean, we have teas and teapots. Like, I just still think there's so many options out there that haven't been touched. I don't know if they're running out of ideas. I think it becomes more obvious is maybe the take that I would say. More obvious that they would, like, I don't know, make a computer Pokemon, or we've got Rotom or whatever, but I don't know, a shelf Pokemon, or just looking around the room, like, there's just so many things that they could just turn anything into a Pokemon at this point with some of the examples we've got. I mean, we have literal teapots and ice cream cups. Like, seems easy. Like, for ideas. Creative, maybe that's it. Maybe it's they're running out of creative ideas, but I don't know if they have much option. I guess it's what they do with the ideas, whether they're creative with it or not, is what it is. Scarlet and Violet felt pretty creative for some of them. I mean, the motorbike Pokemon, Miraidon and
Koraidon.
Koraidon. I mean, they're just. I never saw that coming. I feel like it was very creative what they did there, especially like the design of it. It's not something I could have ever imagined up. So,
yeah, my problem with modern Pokemon is like just the roundness to their effing heads. Like, everything's a freaking circle, sphere, Pokemon head. Lechonk, Quaxley, even the freaking alligator Fuecoco, Sprigatito, literally Tarantula is a circle Pokemon. Like, they're all just like based on stupid ass basic shapes, and it pisses me off. It is
easy to draw.
I look back, even Houndour, like, I'm looking at these, like, and Gumshoes, Young Goose, like, there's some freaking texture and some, even Sunkern, like, it's just an odd shape. Like, it's not just a ball, like a scatterbug. Literally, it's an effing ball with 3 hairs coming out of its head. And Spoopa is a ball with a dress underneath it. Like, they're literally little ball Pokemon with different effing colors, and it pisses me off.
That's a really good observation.
That's what makes me mad.
Yeah, I don't know if I had. I don't know if I'd picked up on that fully, honestly. But I think you're right. I think also like a lot of them are so small. Give me some crazy like I don't know, not whale
Like,
lord, but like give me some like maybe it comes down to just literally like the feasibility of it within the shows and the games and stuff like because they're all connected, right? They all have to be able to work together to make it happen. It's not just the artwork on the card.
yeah, like look at this. Like I could just scrolling through here. I know which ones are the new ones. Like this has got to be new. Fido, like the dude has got sphere, oval, oval, sphere, oval leg, oval. Like it's just the most basic ass shapes I've ever seen.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of new ones.
Like this one, is this new? This looks nice. It's something. I'm down with Roly Coly and Carcoal and Colossal. I don't think I've ever seen those till today. But like just like even the Mareep, it looks like a friggin' sheep. Like it's not a sphere. It's got
Sheep-shaped.
some texture to it.
Ampharos, very unique. Yep.
Yeah. Like petal, like it literally. Here we go, another sphere. Couple pieces of grass on its head. It's special. This one's got a giant ball sack for a freaking body. Like it just.
Oh baby.
This is an apple. Like what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Spoink.
Just
Spoink's
get away from the basic.
All right, so Spoink's the new one, right?
No.
No.
No, Spoink and Grumpig, aren't they old?
No.
I thought they're Spoink's new. It makes sense because it's a sphere.
No, I think that's new.
Yeah, Fanfy, Donphan, respect. Even this guy, what is this? Q font? That looks new.
Copper Rogers, yeah.
This, no. This is straight out of what is
Toad.
that freaking game?
Mario.
No,
it's Toad.
It's the what's that?
Minecraft.
Game Minecraft. These are fucking
Minecraft. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Gyarados, basic ass shape. That's a circle. Not really.
Yeah, people hate on vintage. People hate on vintage, but there's a reason that those first 151 made Pokemon explode, right? They were just the pinnacle. They were the best. And I mean, we could always reference back to them, but they just hit the nail on the head so well. I mean, they just nailed it absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, that awkward moment when Diglett's got more texture than the entire new Pokedex. That's pretty insane.
Diglett's a good one. Honestly, like you can't not love Diglett, but they did make a couple of boo-boos. There's a few percent of boo-boos. You think about like Jinx and Mr. Mime. There's a couple of rough ones in there that I definitely don't
Mr.
love.
Mime, bro?
Like 95% of the original. No, get that out of here.
This is like $100 PSA 10. Guaranteed. Look at the center.
I'm not here for it. Cool artwork, but not the Pokemon. That artwork was pretty, but no, Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime's an absolute dingbat. Come on.
Shots fired. You said you love Jinx, you said? Like this is you? This is Professor Oak on a Friday night when he's going out to the town.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm triggered by myself. Who knows? Everyone hates himself, right?
Moving on. You're up. Batter up.
Eldenista BCG. PSA submission numbers are dropping because of Scarlet and Violet print quality. English is garbage and harder to find cards to grade. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Yes, absolutely. Scarlet and Violet treated me absolutely freaking awful. Any good card that I pulled from there, I sold raw. They weren't 10 quality. I can't think of a single good PSA 10 quality card that I pulled from Scarlet and Violet in base or Paldea Evolved. Obsidian Flames will be interesting. I don't know if them buying my print group has anything to do with it. I don't know if that is the number one printer they're using, if they're outsourcing any. Honestly, I don't know what's going on, but I had really bad quality cards, honestly. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to submit that stuff, but I am submitting older stuff. So it might be dropping because I would imagine most stuff that gets submitted to PSA, whether it be sports or TCG or whatever, I'd imagine the majority is modern, very modern stuff. There's new stuff people are trying to get in. But maybe people are just concentrating more on the older stuff, trying to find gems there. What's your thoughts on it?
100%, totally agree. That's why when I decided I want 151, I went Japanese this time because I want to be able to grade a card. It's not great a feeling when I buy a base unlimited pack, and this is better quality than the last like 30 effing modern English cards I've ever opened. The person who runs the quality department at Pokemon needs to be fired immediately because he's making dog shit product back to back to back to back. Like the last good set printed with Celebrations, a little bit of Crown Zenith was not bad, I feel like, but most of the core sets, like I don't know if it's just like I'm almost starting to think that. I feel like the special edition sets are printed somewhere else. Core sets are all made at Millennium Print Group. They fist themselves in the middle of them making the stuff, and they don't make good product. They don't like doing it. And it seems like every time we get a good promotion, not a promotional set, whatever it's called, a Celebrations or Crown Zenith or probably 151, a non-booster box set, it seems to be pretty good quality. So
specialty or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful there might be some, I don't know, changes, improvements. I don't know if it's the paper, I don't know if it's the machines, I don't know if it's the people doing it. Like, honestly, I don't know what it is, but pretty bad. Like, really, really bad. Like a lot of the cards that I got. So we'll see. I was excited, honestly, for those first two sets. I was really excited to grade some of the starters, and grade some of the new Pokemon and be into PSA 10s for some of the new ones, the first appearance cards. And I pulled both waifu trainer cards from both the first two sets, and neither of them were great quality. I was very disappointed. Honestly, I kind of bummed out about it. Like I was really excited to get stuck into grading some of this newer stuff, and it's not there. So yeah, honestly, I think hit nail right on the head with that one out in East. I think there's something to it. But yeah, again, I still submitted to PSA. I still sent some stuff in. It was just different stuff, random stuff. So
yeah.
That's wrap. Thanks, guys. That was cool. Going through some spicy topics, some good shout outs there for some of the things you're thinking and going through. It's always fun. Always enjoy it. We both appreciate you. Don't forget to leave your spicy topic. Vote on the one that you see when you get around to watching this. When you get to this point, hit the comment section. See which one you like. And yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you on the flip side next week.
Love you all. Peace. See you guys soon.